We're here at New York Comic Con showing off 2 new levels for PlayStation Move Heroes. PlayStation Move Heroes is a new title coming out first quarter of 2011. It's really kind of part of the second wave of Move titles that are a little bit more in-depth and intense. This particular one brings together the Jak, Ratchet and Clank, and the Sly Cooper franchises for the first time. 3 great franchises. We're getting almost all the original actors, 2,000 new lines of dialogue, entirely original story, and you get to play all 6 characters from the franchises, 5 different weapon modes in 50 different missions. So it's a pretty involved game. Each mission takes about 5 minutes to complete. You get to select your character for each mission, so you can kind of choose which character you like, and they all have different attacks, different capabilities, so the choice of character really makes a difference in how you do the level. So the first mission Woody's going to show you is what we call a bomb hunt, which is you're exploring this environment by flying a disc and guiding it, and you're looking for these hidden objects, some of which are stationary, some of which are moving around the level, and you have a limited number of discs that you can throw and guide to like take out 10 different targets. If you get all 10 targets before you run out of time or run out of ammo, you get a gold medal. If you get like 8 or 9, you get a silver, and then less than that, 6 or 7, you get a bronze. Calibration is really simple. You just point at the camera once, point in the middle of the screen, and you're good to go. Now you have the nav controller. All of our missions require the nav controller, so you have free capability to move your character anywhere you want on screen. Very familiar. You can also use the 6-axis controller in your other hand and use the wand in your primary hand. Once you throw the disc, the guidance is really natural and simple. You can do really sharp turns. You can turn the disc sideways to get through tight places. You can even flip it entirely upside down and fly it upside down for a while. Do like over, barrel rolls, Immelmans. So it's a really natural and fun, and players really don't need much tutorial on how to guide the disc. You just give them the controller and they just kind of naturally get into it. A few things that Woody's looking for. He stalled the disc there. You can see for a moment it kind of flashed. We actually use the wand to indicate that you're stalling out your velocity. The orb flashes red and it actually vibrates, so you get to know right away that you're approaching stall velocity. So there you took out one head that was moving pretty fast. There's different obstacles in the environment you have to look out for as well. There's boost rings. If you go through the ring, your disc gets an extra boost of speed, which keeps you going longer. There's also a sort of electric fence around the whole mission, so you can't fly off into space, but you have to be careful not to ram into it. There's also hidden teleporters to access different parts of the level. Sometimes the targets are hidden below floors, in tight spaces, so you really have to spend some time exploring the whole level to find all 10 heads. Obviously, Woody's played this level a few times, so he knows exactly where to look. He's going to get a gold medal pretty easily for the most part. But depending on your skill level, we think a mission on average takes about 5 minutes to complete, and you can go back and replay it to try to get a gold medal. Getting gold medals will help you unlock things more quickly. There's also hidden objects in each level, so you can go back and unlock new costumes, some classic costumes that you remember from the original Ratchet and Jak and Sly games, some brand new ones that are in keeping with the kind of humorous tradition of the franchise. So he won that. So we find these are really fun, and casual players can really immediately get the disc guidance. A little bit more on the hardcore side is our whip weapon, and this is the first time we're showing the whip weapon in public. We're going to use Jak as an example. Every character, all 3 large characters that you can use, have a different whip weapon with different special attacks and different abilities. Jak's is kind of a sort of a ball and chain with a little sort of an energy ball and chain. In this case, it's kind of like a melee weapon, so you can use the wand controller to move your arm pretty much in any direction you want as quickly as you want, and the whip will follow. So, a lot of people say waggling is a problem, but in this case, it's actually a valid strategy. If you're willing to expend the energy to just go completely crazy with the wand controller, your character will match that on screen, and you'll actually do a lot of damage to your enemies. But if you take a more tactical approach and pull the trigger on the wand and flick the controller at a specific target, the ball will travel out, hit the target squarely in the head, and come back and do a lot more damage. So it's kind of your choice. Do you want to sweep across a whole bunch of guys to kind of clear a space around you, or do you want to target one specific guy for like a more devastating attack? The effects on the whip are a little bit preliminary, which is why we're not kind of doing it hands-on yet at the show. But you kind of get the idea. It's really the goal is like whatever you're doing with the wand, even if it's like crazy fast or whatever, the character on screen tries to match it. So you really always kind of get that one-to-one feeling that you're looking for. In this particular mission, Woody's goal is to survive waves of enemies, and you can see on the upper right it's kind of ticking down the number of enemies you have to survive to complete the wave. And for every wave you survive, you get a higher medal when you finish the level. So you could maybe not reach the entire end of this mission, but still get a bronze medal at least and be able to go on to the next missions. And in keeping with the franchise, there's a lot of destructibility, a lot of hidden objects. In this game, you're collecting crystals. You see blue crystals flying to the character. That's pretty much the equivalent of the Ratchet and Clank bolts, or the Dark Eco in Jak and Daxter, or coins in Sly. So we kind of took those three and we kind of consolidated into one brand new type of collectible. Those collectibles will charge your special character abilities. Each character has a different ability that they can trigger when they've collected enough crystals, and it varies greatly depending on the character what that ability does. We also have enemies and locations taken from the franchises. You can see we have Deathbots. We've got this particular level takes place in Paris, which is from Sly, and we're running around with Jak. So we've got all three franchises kind of all melded together right here. Lots of physics, lots of destructibility. And every time you destroy something, that's actually earning you more crystals. So crystals are driving your score, driving your chargeable abilities. You've also got a shield that you can use when you have incoming projectile attacks on your move button. So it's a pretty involved melee system and whip system. Definitely, it's trying to bring in the casual gamers as well as the more hardcore gamers that are looking for a more in-depth challenge. So he survived 2 waves. He's got the silver medal in the bag. Now he just has to navigate through this little house, pick up some health on the way, and finish the last wave. So those are 2 levels from PlayStation Move Heroes. We're also showing 4 other playable levels from Tokyo Game Show. And the game